Hi, my name's Melissa Guthery, and I'm going to be talking with y'all today about Perks for Life. Many of you may be asking, what are you talking about, Perks for Life? Well, how many of you are afraid of needles? I know I was at one point in time, but imagine being a kid and having to stick yourself multiple times a day like a human pincushion. According to JDRF.org, 3 million people in the U.S. alone have type 1 diabetes. Of those 3 million, 15,000 are children, which is equivalent to about 80 kids a day. Now, people with type 1 diabetes didn't ask for this. This is not inherited. This is an autoimmune disease that has attacked the body, leaving the body insulin dependent. A book written calling Understanding Diabetes by Peter H. Chase is an example of what was printed in, this version was actually printed in 2002, but gives us an example of why a diabetic has to use a needle and a syringe. That's because the acids in the body will attack a pill. So the only form for someone to get the insulin into the body is through a needle. So that's why it's Perks for Life. On top of that, they have to prick their finger multiple times a day, sometimes 8, sometimes 10, sometimes more, to check their sugar to see if they're high or low, if they need more insulin, less insulin, and especially before they eat, because a type 1 diabetic is based on insulin carbs. So they're always carb counting, not necessarily sugar, but carb counting. JDRF is a foundation, though, that helps to raise money to find cures. They've invested over $2 million in looking for a cure to help with diabetes and help with better products. CGMs, continuous glucose monitoring systems, where we went from a syringe, now we're at an insulin pump. This has an IV line that will run from the here and into the stomach. This is changed 3 times every 3 days versus having to give injections. So the technology is improving. But to make it more improved, they need additional funds. They are not supported by the government as far as getting government grants. So they need the support of us. So when you give that next gift of something, like a piece of candy to someone who knocks on your door, who you don't know if they're a diabetic or not, or if you know someone who's a diabetic, donate in their name and tell them that you have. Because trust me, these kids didn't ask for this. In a book by Mark Atkins written in 2008, it's actually not a book, it's an academic journal, he called it the perfect storm. So, like so many kids get sick, it only takes that one time for them to get sick, and the body doesn't know what to attack on the islet cells, and it attacks the pancreas, leaving the kids insulin dependent. So how can we do our part? There are many funds that you can donate to. JDRF being the most predominant as in the American Diabetes Association is really looking to find a cure for these kids, because without insulin, they can't survive. They also look for creating new products so that the test strips are cheaper, so that there's a wide variety of different types of insulin. Smart insulin, where you don't have to combine the 2 insulins. Actions we can take is know what type 1 diabetes is. Talk to family members about diabetes. Know what to expect for someone who has type 1 diabetes, especially when it involves kids. I cannot stress this enough. My daughter was diagnosed March 30th of 2007 at the age of 6. She spent 3 days in coma. I did not know what type 1 diabetes was at the time, nor was it in my family at all. So me and my husband had no idea. But it does have a big impact on her. Now, she is a healthy 15-year-old, recently got her permit. We had to disclose that she had type 1 diabetes. Makes a difference on driving. she fights competitive in Taekwondo, like she travels as a black belt, and she's been to Canada. Canada was cold. Her IV line froze before she even left the hotel, so she didn't get to go play in the snow like other kids do. She's been to Portland, Oregon. She gets patted down in the airports. I mean, these kids live with this day in and day out. And other kids seem to, at times, bully those. Or, like, for instance, she doesn't get invited to sleepovers because the parents don't know enough about type 1 and think she has a disease. So just take the time to talk to your kids. If you have kids, take the time to talk to family members. Take the time to talk to friends. Or if you know someone who has diabetes, take the time to talk to them about them and let them know that you understand. Again, these kids have to live with this. We can do our part as citizens and adults by donating to JDRF. Anything counts. 1 penny could save a life or a prick. Thank you.